Have you ever wondered why some of life's most important lessons were conveniently ignored in our schooling system? We spent years doing algebra, lab experiments, and also memorizing history dates. But what about the practical life skills that are required that is going to be shaping our lives in our adulthood? In this eye-opening video, I'm going to be revealing to you 15 things that the schooling system did not teach you. These are those 15 lessons that can make a huge difference in your personal and professional journey. From personal finance to emotional intelligence to critical thinking and many other topics, there are a whole range of practical life skills that are required beyond the classroom walls that is being neglected in today's education system. If you are ready to bridge that gap between the current system and real life skills that will make you successful, this is the video for you. This video is going to be completely transforming the way that you even perceive education, and it's going to be very, very important. My name is Siddharth Rajsekar. I'm a college dropout. And in spite of being a college dropout, I've been able to help over 26,000 people build a successful knowledge business in the last 5 years. And this topic is very, very close to my heart because I know there are thousands of students out there who are going through the formal education system and getting lost in their life and not being able to achieve what they really want in their life. Before we go into the 15 things that school did not teach us, let me explain to you the history of our current system of education going back in time. The ancient Indian system of education goes back to even 1500 BC or even beyond, which is the Gurukula system of education. As the word suggests, Guru and Kula is students would go to the home of the Guru, and irrespective of what their birth was, whether they were a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, depending on which class of society they came from, they all learned together from the master, and based on their aptitude and skill sets, the master would put them to different segments of society. So if they're more inclined towards leadership, he would put them in the administration area. If they're more inclined towards intellectualism, he would make them more to study the scripture and stuff. If they were more business oriented, they would go and do business and trading. And those who were not so inclined to these things, they would be the support system of the entire society. So it was a beautifully running society. And did you know that India was the richest economy in the world way before our education system that was established by the British in the 1800s? So the kind of topics that the Guru would teach in these Gurukuls were mathematics, logic, warfare, as well as philosophy and literature, because these were the foundational blocks for people to enhance their critical thinking skills. The education at that time was primarily oral. There were no books or textbooks or anything else. And it was mainly due with the interaction of the master and student that was creating a transformation in the students. And it was not so much about jamming information or making people memorize things, but it was more of an interactive lifestyle-based approach. So talking about India specifically, the Vedic scriptures like the Vedas, the Upanishads, these were the primary textbooks that were used for imparting this knowledge. And it was never about religion. It was beyond religion, and people from all different backgrounds used to actually be there. And this education system went through a massive transformation during the medieval period with the introduction of universities like Takshila University and Nalanda University. These were renowned centers of learning that attracted scholars from all over the world. And these scholars used to come and learn topics like astronomy, astrology, mathematics, logic, philosophy, and many others. And during this medieval period was when the Mughal invasion happened in India, and that was the time they introduced something called madrasas, which emphasized Islamic teachings and Persian literature into the system. And with every invasion that happened in India, the invaders knew very well that if they had a control over the education system, they could transform the society to fall in line with their agendas. After the Mughals, the British rule came into India. They brought about the system of education that is prevalent even till today, right now. The British, they introduced like the Western style of education as we know till today, based on the recommendations of Lord Macaulay, based on whatever he shared in 1835, Lord Macaulay's Minute on Education. Now that became the foundation to building the education system that we see today, not only in India, but pretty much all over the world. So it was during this time that English became the medium of education, and the kind of subjects that were taught were predominantly around English language, mathematics, literature, science, arithmetic, and these kind of topics. The reason for these topics coming to the forefront is because the Industrial Revolution had already started, and it was also a time where they wanted organized knowledge to create the workforce for the industrial age. So while the system of education in India previously was more entrepreneurial in spirit, meaning people would go through a Gurukul system or would go through the universities like Nalanda and Takshila back in the day, they were more geared to be independent. Here, there was a sense of dependence that was brought into society. So the Britishers introduced things like the University of Bombay, the University of Kolkata, the University of Madras, and all of these formal bodies that would certify people who are going through these institutions. And this laid the foundation for higher education in India. Then post-independence, there was a lot of effort that was done to eliminate illiteracy in India by getting all of the people in India to these formal education systems that were introduced by the British. So it was during this phase that the government introduced things like 10 plus 2 plus 3, 10 years up to 10th standard, then 12th standard, and 3 years of your degree. All of the system was introduced only during this phase. The whole concept of a primary education, a secondary education, and higher education. And also the concept of undergraduation, post-graduation, and so on. And it was only in the year 1956 that the UGC, or the University Grants Commission, was established in India to maintain the standards across all these different bodies. Which means that nobody can officially start a university unless they go to the UGC body. And in 2009, we had this right to education that made education compulsory for all of the kids from the age of 6 to 14. And if you see today, the education system is a combination of both public sector and private sector education, which is teaching all different topics that were still based on the foundation that was set by the British. And the topics are pretty much like science, commerce, medicine, law, and technology, and so on. And in the last 10 to 15 years, the whole focus of this education system was to create more engineers, doctors, and to some extent lawyers, and which is pretty much why, if you look at even the parents of kids who were born in the 80s and 90s, their whole aspiration was how can they make their kid into a doctor or lawyer and send them to the US and go through higher study process. So while the formal education system did its job in the last 15 to 20 years, today we are living at a time where things are moving so fast. Technology is changing so fast. And by the time a curriculum is approved in a formal process, things are changing so fast. So there's a very serious lag time in our current education system between what is relevant and what the student really needs in a fast-paced digital age, what to speak of the more important skills that I'm going to be talking about. So the 11 problems that I see in our current education system is this. Number one is that this particular system has lack of vision for the future because the future is changing so fast. Two is this entire system is still based on memorization-based learning, and today people don't need to memorize things. They can access knowledge much faster than ever before. The third problem I see in this system is that most of the topics are outdated. The fourth problem that I see is that the current evaluation system, where it's again based on memory and only the mental aspect of the game, it is not relevant anymore. So the person who's able to have a good day and memorize and write an exam on the final exam day and who scores good marks, they're the ones who end up moving up in the academia. The other problem that I see, the fifth problem, is that current classroom ratio between the teacher and the student is way too much. One teacher for 100 students, one teacher for 200 students. I feel that over the years, the education system has lost its essence. The sixth problem that I see is the whole teaching style. Because most of the teachers, they have the knowledge, but they don't know how to create interactive learning experiences. It is still the boring, old school, stereotype lecture format of learning, and today kids are engaging so much with technology and their attention span is much lower than before, so they can't really hold the attention of their students anymore. So the methodology of teaching has to change. The seventh problem of our education system is it's all a competition game. It's like a rat race. Okay, because if you look at the olden days in the Gurukula system, it was more of collaboration between students, and there was no grades and marks and first rank and second rank and A grade, B grade, C grade. All of this stuff, grading system has actually made it even worse for the students in their mental health also. The eighth problem that I see in our education system is that values are not taught. It is more just somehow getting through the portions and scoring good marks. It is a very mentally stimulated approach. But we are four-dimensional beings. There's mental, there's physical, there's emotional and spiritual. And all the four dimensions are not taken care of in our current system. And the ninth issue that I see in our education system is the money game. There's a lot of donation, capita fees. There's a big money-making racket that many of you may already know. The 10th problem that I see in our education system is that there is lack of personalization of subjects. They say, right, you can't make a fish climb a tree or you can't make a monkey swim in water. The same thing. Right now, our education system is all bucketing people, but they're not really looking at individual capabilities and customization of topics based on aptitudes and skill sets of each student. And another problem in our education system is everyone focuses on community service and it's happening in some cases, but they're not focused on community building. Because community building is what's going to keep people together and work together. So now let me come to the 15 things that the schooling system is missing out on. And I truly believe that if our system are able to introduce these 15 things, we are going to see a much faster growing economy overall in the world. The first thing that our education system needs to introduce is financial literacy. Teaching students how to manage their money better, how to invest their money better, and how to really make sure that they're able to have a better financial control over their personal finances. Now, the reason why most of people, they get into all kinds of debt and overstretched EMIs and they get into a trap is because of this lack of financial literacy knowledge. Most of the people in the education system, they get a job and they get into a mess afterwards. So this is the first thing that our schooling system does not teach. The second thing that our current education system does not cover is critical thinking. While some schools do touch on these aspects, it is more intellectually focused towards learning maths, calculus, algebra, geography, history, and all of the social-based topics. But nobody is asked to think for themselves. So critical thinking and having sessions to allow the students to think for themselves and to debate on different things and to have different perspectives is really, really missing. And I feel in one sense it is conveniently not gotten to, is because the system is designed to make everybody fall in line with the thought process of the authority and the bodies. So in some cases, critical thinking is going to be backfiring the institutions. The third thing that is lacking in our current education system is not teaching emotional intelligence. See, we are all human beings. We are all having emotions. We are not robots over here. We are not going through a robotic system of, getting to a factory-based model. Schools today are prioritizing achievements over actually managing emotions. And today we're having serious mental health issues all over the world because of this one main factor. Understanding emotional intelligence, self-awareness, having empathy for others, being kind-hearted. These are the factors that are not there in our current system. And since we are human beings, this is such an important factor for personal and professional success. Some of the most successful people today are amazing at interpersonal relationships. The fourth thing that our current education system lacks is practical life skills. The basics like cooking, cleaning, basic mechanics, looking over your home, time management, personal organization, all of these are not key subjects in schools. And this leaves students totally unprepared for the real world responsibilities. The fifth thing that school is missing out is a big one, is entrepreneurship. Because the current system of education is only focusing on how to get a stable job and a stable employment without allowing them to think about entrepreneurship as a topic. If schools introduce entrepreneurship skills, innovation, risk-taking, and helping them have and develop a business acumen at a young age, trust me, our economy will go to a whole different level. The sixth thing that our current education system does not cover is personal development. As I mentioned before, everything is mentally oriented, meaning how to score better marks, how to memorize more. It's all mentally focused. And the areas that our current system is missing out is things like self-reflection, goal setting, how to be more resilient, and also how to be more mindful. Personal development is a big missing piece. The seventh thing that our current education system is missing out on is negotiation and conflict resolution. As I mentioned before, we're all human beings and it's all about interpersonal relationships and interpersonal relationship skills that are more important than ever before. And if the schooling system can actually teach how to be more peaceful, how to come about a win-win-win situation, and how to negotiate in the best way, this could be an amazing skill that can make the world a better place. The eighth thing that our current education system misses out is on communication skills. Yes, they teach letter writing and essay writing and all of that, and today nobody's using any of that anyway. They need to teach more about the active communication skills, things like non-verbal communication, body language, active listening, how do you really communicate using videos, and maybe get them into creation skills at a much younger age, because today we are living in a world filled with this kind of media. And even things like public speaking. These are such important skills. Oratory skills are very, very important in today's digital age. The ninth factor that is missing out in our education is digital literacy. Even though there's subjects on computer science and all of that stuff, I'm talking about more hands-on digital knowledge, digital etiquette, stuff like basic coding. All of these are very, very crucial. And digital literacy also means digital marketing, understanding how platforms work, understanding how content marketing works, understanding how paid marketing works, understanding how advertising works, understanding how traffic building works. Like all of these digital skills are going to be helping them go a much longer way than what's being taught right now in schools. Another thing that's missing out in schools is a cultural competence, because today we're living in a world which is so much open and we have people from all various backgrounds and cultures and different locations, and we're living in a cosmopolitan society right now. If you look at the top metros in our country in India, we have people from all walks of life, all different religious backgrounds, all different cultures of the world. Some people may be even coming from other parts of the world. Now, how do you bring cultural competence for every student to respect each other's cultures and to live together? And the whole aspect of unity in diversity is something that our schooling system does not really teach. Because if the world has to become a better place, we have to start thinking beyond these boundaries that we have created for ourselves in the last many hundreds of years. We have to think beyond that. We need to be a more collaborative society than just a competitive society. Another thing that our education system is missing out on is health and wellness. Imagine if students are able to learn the essence of nutrition at a young age. Imagine if they're able to understand how the mind works so they can control their mental issues and they're able to manage stress better. And imagine if children are able to learn on the importance of physical fitness and their overall well-being at a very young age itself. And if it goes at a deep-rooted level. If this happens, you're going to be having a much more healthier and active society. The 12th aspect that is not covered in our education system is environmental awareness. We know that there are a lot of environmental issues that are happening right now, like climate change. There is things like conservation, sustainability, importance of environmental stewardships. All of these things are such an important factor that if kids are exposed to at a young age, they'll be more responsible citizens in the future. They say, right, charity begins at home. Helping every student understand the importance of cleanliness in their own home at a young age is going to set the foundation for a cleaner nation and a cleaner organization as a whole. The 13th topic that is not covered in our education system is personal finances and taxations. Imagine if students were taught on how taxes work, how credit scores are built. Imagine if they are taught what are the positives and negatives of taking loans and when to take a loan. What are the benchmarks? Imagine if all of this is taught at a young age. They will be better prepared to manage their finances and they'll be better contributors to building a resilient nation because they'll know why these taxes are to be paid and where it goes. It's because of this lack of education that many people, they end up doing, illegal things, evading tax and multiple things later on. Why not introduce this at a young age and set this as the foundation? The 14th thing that is not taught in our schools is creativity and innovation. Because schools today is all based on the foundation of conformity and standardized testing. And this one thing, whatever I shared, is killing their creativity. To create better contributing citizens of the future, they need to be creative thinkers, innovators, and problem solvers. Because we are now living in an ever-changing world that requires that mindset. You can't be in a standardized testing mindset anymore. We have to think beyond that. And finally, the 15th topic that is not taught in our education system today is time and productivity management. How do you prioritize your time? How do you get things done? How do you organize yourself to get more work done in less time? How do you use time leverage? How do you leverage people? And how do you really optimize your life in such a way that you can get a lot more done? This is not taught in schools. And one of the reasons I set up my community called the Internet Lifestyle Hub is because I want to really change and redefine this. We are over 26,000 people that I'm training right now, where I'm teaching them how to become digital mentors who are implementers themselves so that they can impact and inspire other students and teach them on specific topic areas that can help them scale and grow wherever they are lacking. Because whether you like it or not, our education system is broken. Our employment system is broken. And people are going through so much of stress and anxiety in today's day and age. And the only way we can fix it is by creating more teachers and leaders. If you'd like to know more about how you can be a part of this revolution, there's a link in the description. Please attend my webinar and learn more about how you can actually get started on this journey yourself. As I mentioned before, I'm a college dropout. I don't have any degree next to my name. I did not know I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I'm a musician turned digital geek. And thanks to the mentors who came into my life who are implementers themselves, I completely surrendered to their process. Today, I'm able to achieve whatever I'm able to achieve because of that. So I'm here to tell you that we are living at a time and age today where you actually don't need degrees to be successful. You just need a different thought process. You need the right mentors and you need to be in the right environment to bloom and grow. And you need to be having the space to express yourself and to do things that you really love. If you found this video useful, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and I'll be sharing more videos like this in the future. Please share this video with a family member of yours, with a friend of yours, with somebody who needs to know about this truth. Because if you don't share this, maybe that other person in your family is going to go through the same path that's going to take them to more stress and anxiety, and they may not be prepared for the real world. So please share this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.